Hello guys, welcome back for another episode of building my home. So there's a lot of improvement this week on the compound. The slashing has been going on and it's now clean compared to last week when it was so bushy. So the work is not done. You can see there's still some bushes over there, but we have made great progress. So the front of the house is done and they're on their final lap, which is at the back of the house, what is supposed to be the backyard. I dug out a well when I started building back then, and it solved our water needs during the time we were building. Unfortunately, this well has been growing wider. The wall seems to be collapsing. It wasn't this big. It's my only source of water at the moment, and the curing has to go on for some days before I stop. So my biggest fear at the moment is that this thing could just collapse with me and I can't swim to save my life. So I placed these two poles over it for support, just in case anything happens, I'll have something to hold on to. So curing is just about pouring water on the plastered walls so they don't crack. And I've been doing this for about a week now. I was told to do it for 10 days. So I guess I'm almost done. Usually someone does it for me, but today I'm on my own. It's very hard to avoid splashing water on self, especially when curing the shutter. So I got myself really wet. And now that the bushes are gone and the compound is very clean, I'm just gonna weed my trees one by one until I have all of them weeded. After weeding, usually the plants really pick up and bloom. The cutting of the grass has really exposed the soil, and all the creatures that were hiding in the long grass are now out. I'm meeting all sorts of creatures, from snails to frogs. And then the boys who are cutting the grass told me they found 3 snakes. Unfortunately, they killed them because we don't have any other way to deal with them here. So I'm planning to adopt a cat. I understand they are very good at keeping snakes away. And I hope just in no time the place will be very habitable. I'm also planning to plant snake plant around the fences and then keep the grass always down. I know that will keep the snakes away as well. I also think the snakes loved this place because there was a lot of food for them, the frogs, the rats, and all sorts of little creatures that were here. So once they're out, the grass is down, I'm sure they'll have nothing to feed on. As I try to organize my home, I'm also cutting down plants and trees that grew in places they're not needed. And then there are those that were burnt down. Some of them grew, others dried. So I'm just cutting those that are dry and have shown no sign of growth, and those that have grown wildly. So this skeleton here was the white bottle brush tree. Unfortunately, I waited for it to sprout again, but then looks like it died. So I'm just getting it out and I'll be planting something different in the same spot. I will use the dried up trees for wood, I know I will need a lot of warmth in this house. It's gonna be cold in the first days, so I'll use them to heat the house. I have also identified the spot where I want to put up my vegetable garden. And I'm going to do the raised beds because the soil here is the black cotton soil. It has very poor drainage and I know it won't be good for my vegetables. So I'm doing raised beds. But first the land is not flat. So I have some leveling to do on the portion where I'm going to be putting the beds before any planting. I chose this spot because it receives full sunlight of the morning, and then as the sun gets hotter, there are trees that give shade here, so the harsh heat won't be affecting my vegetables. So as I pile the grass to burn, I come across this shoe, probably of some ancestor who once lived here. I don't know if Converse is that old, but it was a beautiful pair of shoes. I know I should be using this to make compost and to use in mulching, but the reason I'm burning them down is because they have some weeds and the weeds have seeds. So the moment I use them in my garden, the seeds will grow, and that means I will have more weeds in my garden. So those with weeds I will burn. The plain grass I will keep for making compost manure and for mulching my garden in the future. So it's now time to flatten the area where the beds will be laid. I don't know why the soil is this tough and it's been raining. I would call this a very productive day. I have done so much, and as always, God always sends me some showers of blessings. So this is how the compound looked before the cutting of the grass. And now it's plain and clean. So that's the second story of the building, which is not covered. And the rain, when the rain is too much, I noticed it kinds of drains through the stairs again to the main house. So there's some work to be done there still. And as I call it a day, I'm hopeful that this is one of those last days I'm walking out of my home. Probably by the end of this month, I will move in. Thank you for watching and thank you for staying with me. Bye-bye.